Good evening, friends and family, and thank you for coming to another night with our podcast, Behind Black Business. As you know, we here at Repair, Restore, and Grow Black Communities, we're trying to save our communities. And to do this, we are supporting one of our greatest entities, and that is our Black businesses. In supporting our Black businesses, we know that our Black businesses are able to help us circulate that Black dollar because they're going to hire Black people. They're going to provide entrepreneurial experiences for Black people and their products in the community. They're going to donate to Black causes in the community. They're going to provide so many different opportunities, and they also have the ability to do business with other Black businesses. And they provide good mentorship and role models for our children. And we have so many Black businesses within the Black community. I have found people who live in the community that are not aware of the number of businesses, Black businesses that are located. I visited the Chatham area, and I was speaking with someone who had lived in that area for a number of years, and they weren't even aware of our Black bookstore and underground on 87th Street, the Essential Elements, a wonderful boutique on 87th Street. We have to do just like other people do, understand what collectiveness means. And we have to seek out these businesses. I'm a vegetarian. When I go to another city, state, or country, I seek out vegetarian restaurants. We have to seek out our businesses and we have to support them. Even if those business proprietors do not live in our community, they have Black family members. And as you know, when you have Black family members, you are spending dollars with your family members, whether you're helping them by lending them money or purchasing items for them and with them. And so this is something that we must do as a people. With our organization, Repair, Restore, and Grow Black Communities, we're raising dollars to go in and provide direct help for our businesses, daily improving their daily operations, helping to build a business plan, working on a website or building a website, helping their employees to understand their product better and how to better work with the public, bringing dollars in to improve the decorum so we can have a better shopping experience within our businesses. And so this is one of the areas that we're working in, and we're also working to develop public policies. Our local schools should have contracts with our Black bookstores. We once had 23 Black bookstores in the Black community, and now we only have 3. And so they should have contracts. They once did, and they need to also again. Gentrification is supposed to improve a community. It shouldn't mean that you're pushing people out of a community. If you're bringing dollars into the community, then you should be supporting those existing businesses. And so these are some of the public policies that we are addressing. We're stressing putting a lot of extra support towards 3 industries in our communities, and that is our bookstores and our financial institutions. Okay, with our bookstores, we have 3 Black bookstores in Chicago right now. That's Underground, Frontline, and Semicolon. We feature a Black bookstore on our website every month. And this month it is Semicolon, that is located at 515 North Halsted. They provide a list of must reads so we can start to learn about our history and our condition and have different strategies for how to deal with different problems that we're having, how to have a better perspective. You know, we're just focused on the dollar. There's people come before the dollar. And we have to learn to respect and work with our own individuals. And so this bookstores also present a book that we are giving away every month. Last month, it was an autobiography by Asada Shakur, and we had a winner, Mamelo Teka Teka. We have not been able to get in touch with that person. So for next week, we will be selecting another winner for that book if we have not heard from Mamela Teka Teka by our next podcast. And so next month, we will feature another big bookstore. The other area is our financial institutions. We support the Southside Community Federal Credit Union, who have been in our community since 2003, giving out loans, not just taking deposits like many of our major banks are doing. And so we support this institution because they're helping to circulate those dollars in our community. And then last week we had the farm in Pembroke. We had Brother Fred Carter on to talk about the food distribution. If you're not in control of your food source, that is not a good position to be in. So those are three major industries that we are putting a great focus on. And we have also been advertising the yoga festival that Brother Yasir Rahotep has been sponsoring every year, and he had it last week, and it was a wonderful yoga festival where they had yoga, they had Tai Chi, they had meditation classes, and they had many wonderful vendors. And so congratulations to you, Brother Yasir. So I'm not going to take up any more time with commentary. We have a wonderful guest tonight. When I talk about businesses that we don't know about, I call him Bang. That's what we call him. And he is just a great electrician. This is a job for life. And we need more people involved in these types of industries. And so without any further commentary, I am going to bring to you our wonderful host, Brother Gregory Sane, who has so graciously agreed to come on this podcast every week. And we are not paying him. He is not getting any money, but eventually he will. But we love you, Greg, and we are so appreciative of you because Greg is committed, and that's what we need, committed people. And that's what we have in this organization, committed people. So with our podcast, Behind Black Business, I'm bringing to you Gregory Sane with our featured guest, Brother Bang. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Denise. And I'm sure if the audience was out there, and the audience is out there via Facebook, YouTube, Periscope, and other social media, let me say that they are cheering and they should be applauding your dedication, your mission, and your passion for this divine work that's needed for all of those that say they love Black people, they love God, they love humanity, they love Jesus, they love Muhammad, they love this, they love that. You got to put your money where your mouth is. And you got to really be as dedicated as Denise and as Sister Doris and as Simon. And I'm telling you this because it's so critical. I thank God for blessing me to be involved with such a endeavor, such an important mission to repairing, restoring, and growing Black businesses and uplifting our community. You heard Denise loud and clear. I thank our ancestors, and I know our ancestors, some of them, when they look at the condition of Black people, they got to be turning over in their grave in 2021. But I like what me and Denise spoke about, Brother Simon, before we bring our guests on, is, and you can bring them in, is we have to insinuate the positive. We have to put the positive, because there's a lot of negative stuff that they give us as the narrative every single night. And they know exactly what they're doing. That's why they don't promote Black business. That's why if you don't hear about it here in other entities, you won't hear about Brother Bang. You wouldn't hear about the brother that we had last week, Brother Carter and his wife. You would not hear about any of our guests because America and this world has their own plan, and it don't really include us. Honestly, it really don't. And they wrestling with, one day I got to come and talk about this, on the air, about just the whole thing about critical race theory. They wrestling and fighting against that because people don't want to know the truth. They really don't want to talk about the greatness of Black people. They don't want to talk about the contributions, not only the contributions, but what we have done. So anyway, I am so honored to have this beloved guest on tonight to educate us, to enlighten us, motivate us, inspire us, and really tell the people from your perspective, which I know is a good one, brother. What are some of the things that you're working on, and how did you get to where you are? We need that so bad. And when we look at the youth, and they always talk about they don't have enough positive role models. We got a bunch of positive role models. You don't focus on the positive, you focus on the negative. And that's why we know you work against us rising as a community, as a family, as a community. But anyway, I ain't gonna be on my soapbox tonight. Denise already was. But anyway, sometimes it really saddens me, man. I do a lot of things, man, that try to balance this, but it's very it's challenging. But how you doing this evening, brother? How you feel?
I'm feeling good. I'm appreciative, grateful to be here. So humble. I think this is a great experience. I think this is a good outlet for a lot of people. And I commend you and Denise and everybody else that's in this fight and this cause, and keep it going as long as possible. Get the word out.
Yeah, I'm thankful for Denise and Sister Doris and Brother Simon that, they approached me. I got involved from another angle, but I didn't leave them because I felt like what they were doing was sincere and authentic and genuine. And so I decided to stay and lend my energy and my time. So what's going on with you, brother? Tell us something about yourself. Tell us what you're doing, etc.
Okay, I guess we can start. Went to Southern Illinois in 1984 when I graduated from Quigley South High School. Down there, I majored in marketing, graduated in 1991. And after college, I was really basically not doing any type of real professional type work, doing security, some odds and end type jobs and everything that really frustrated me because I knew that at some point I needed to be beyond that because of the knowledge that I had gained and just being around people that were actually doing positive things. So I hooked up. At the time I had a fiance, and her father, his name was Benny Williams. He had a Black-owned electrical company. So at the time I'd asked him, I was like, well, can I get on with you at the time? So just so I could be doing something. And I never believe that it would take off to where I am now. So from the first day that he accepted me and allowed me to work under him, my hammer was my best friend. That's what I had. I had a hammer, and we did rehabbing. We were rehabbing houses all across the city and suburbs. And I did that for quite a number of years. And then I went to another electrician, a master electrician, and his name was, what was his name? I can't think of his name right now. Bob Pate. I'm sorry, Bob Pate. And he had a company called Molite Electric. And under Bob Pate, I learned more skill. My skills got me more refined, and I ended up loving and really liking what I was doing, and to the point where I was doing the work of 3 different people. I had a lot of energy, and I was really eager to learn this. The thing about electrical is you always learning. It's not like you can be set in one place, because every year they change different things. They change different codes. They change different ways that they do things. So it was a learning experience. It's still a learning experience. I worked for Bob Pate for Molite a number of years until I got to the point where I felt that I needed to move on. We got to a point where it was a money issue. Some of it was like, hey, if I'm doing this much work, I need to be, compensated for that. So I loved him. He taught me so many skills, him along with Benny Williams. And then I decided, well, I was just going to venture out on my own and try my hand at it. It was kind of rough because it was like a crossroad. And at this crossroad, you were deciding, hey, this can be your career. What do you want to do with your future? So I stuck it out. It was rough at times. I remember at times I had my daughters passing out flyers in the neighborhood because of the way I thought was like, if you get one customer, you got more than what you had. But that has to do with, sometimes you got to get out there and promote yourself because a lot of times nobody else knows about you, or nobody else is going to promote you until they know about you. And so I kept doing that for years and years until it got to the point where business started to grow, because half of business is about relationships. It's about building trust and relationships. So that's about almost any business when people trust you. And it came to more referrals. And next thing you know, it's like people calling. And it got to the point where I no longer needed to go out there and promote as hard as I was promoting to be in this business. So it's a blessing. I'm grateful. I've come a long way from where I started. I still have a lot to do, a long way to go. I still have a lot of goals to accomplish, but I'm not complaining right now. I'm very grateful. I'm very humble for the opportunity I had from once I started from way back then to where I am now, and looking forward to where I'm trying to go in my future. So I'm just loving it.
Are you teaching the children this? Are you teaching them? I know they was handing out flyers. You telling them about how important it is. And I want, with that question, answer that question. And also another one that I just want to connect with it. With the level of technology now and how they doing things, please enlighten us on how that affects being involved with electricity, you know what I mean? Being involved with this industry, because when you think about the internet and apps and etc., how does it affect this business? But first, tell me about, have you introduced, the business side and how they should not so much generational wealth, but we definitely need to talk about that. But your children handing out flyers, or whoever it was that was handing out flyers. I think you said your children, right?
Yeah, my girls. So,
oh wow! And how old are they?
They're grown now, except for the little one. I got a 3-year-old now, but the rest of them are grown, 27, 30.
You have a 3-year-old driving. Is it a girl?
A girl, all girls.
Oh, brother,
girl.
Yeah, she using you right now.
But hey, that's daddy's little girl, But they know what I had to go through for them, the
That's
work.
Beautiful. I love it. So tell me, how does that industry affect yours?
Well, technology always changes, but this is the thing about electrical. You always need electrical. Everybody needs electrical. Everything that is made now, for the most part, needs electricity to work.
Ain't no technology without electrical, right?
There is nothing without electricity.
Teach, brother, teach.
If you can't come in and turn your lights on, there's a problem. And people can't charge their phone up, there's a problem. If they can't get on the internet, no Wi-Fi, there's an issue. So my job is essential to the going-ons of mostly of day-to-day activities. So it's very important, and it's a beautiful skill. And I've over the years have taught it to many people who have always been interested, or
Right.
I always emphasize the fact that it's more than one way that you can be successful. Everybody doesn't have to wear a suit and tie to be successful. So a good skill is something, and a good trade is something that you can have for the rest of your life. So if you can teach people something that they can have, if you can get out here and promote what you do, and they see what you do, and they see that you can be successful at something, I think it's a great thing. And that's something that they can have for it's like an inheritance. Once you learn a trade, it's pretty much like an inheritance. You got that for forever, and so you can go on and teach others, and you can use it yourself to become successful. So I really love the fact that what I'm doing, what I've learned from a couple of Black guys who were in the profession a long time ago before I came, passed the torch on to me. They basically passed the torch on for me. So I learned hands-on about the industry. And so it's what I have learned, I like to pass on to kids or even adults and other people in my community, and so they can see it. Many times my company, my former boss's company was the only Black company among all the rest of the races when we did specific jobs.
So I can imagine.
So a lot of times we used to work in the suburbs, like out in LaGrange and other places such as that, and we would be the only Black faces that you would see. And in a way it was good, and in a way it was bad, because it was good because we were there, so they know that what we were there for, and we wouldn't be there unless we had that knowledge and that skill to do our trade. On the other hand, that's it. It was just us. So I would have loved for it to be more people that look similar to me in the field. Over the years, though, there have been more and more Black entrepreneurs and Black internships by people who are interested in it. And so that is good, because it's always going to be needed. It's always going to be useful, and the sky's the limit as far as acceleration and where you want to go with it. If you want to stay at a level where you're just comfortable and you're just doing enough to survive, then you can do that. If you want to go to a level where you want to be successful and you want to employ others, you want to teach others, you can do that. If you want to go higher and get into the field with the big boys that's doing the big jobs, it's there. So the opportunity is there if you are believing in yourself and you study, So it's not like it gets demanded at times. So, but it's worth it. I love it, and I have a passion for it. So when
I love it. When I think about the trades, I know many of my friends, growing up in high school, they attended Dunbar or CVS. Some were over at Simeon, and a few at one time, even Tilden Tech was it was a school where you learn, different techs, right? I mean, right. Different skill sets. So, and what right now, what would you tell high school students and others as far as this area is concerned? Because I know for me, it's really interesting that at one time, all of these schools had shops, and they were learning plumbing, but I know what went down. And when you say what you said when you were out in LaGrange,
Mm-hmm.
it is a shame when you look at, and if you watching some of my friends that are Black elected officials, whether you are alderman, state rep, or congressman, or whatever position you have, some of us need to be ashamed of ourselves that we are not making sure that brothers like this are not empowered to broaden this industry or broaden this information so that it gets into the minds, into the hearts, into the heads of our youth, where they can see that not only do you make money and make a living, I am so proud of you, brother, that from your humble beginning, it is so beautiful. And when I tell you, I love you for being steadfast. I love you for not giving up. I love you for being a good example for our people, because it's so easy. But then you have to thank God. You got to thank our ancestors. You got to thank all of the people, Brother Bang, that placed that determination in you to where you didn't give up, because you could see the discrimination. You could see the racism. You could see, and even Black people, we don't go out our way to find a Black person that understands electrical engineering. We don't go out our way to find people that have all of these skill sets. We still believe, unfortunately, that if the shoe don't fit, don't wear it.
And
I still think the white man ice is colder on the other side of the street. But go ahead. What were you going to say?
I think that, getting back to a point you brought, back in the day when they had Washburn and other schools where they had trades and everything, and they offered them to, I think that was a great opportunity, but you know that was only going to last so long.
The unions.
Not just the union. It's like when you get so many brothers in something, you know, it's like, hey, we got enough of y'all in here. I'm just telling it like I see it. Okay,
bro, that's the police department. That's the fire department.
Right.
That's everything, because none of this was ever designed and made for Black people to be at the top.
Yep, and that's the issue. So once you start making it harder and don't make it easily accessible or available for us to get into or to even think about, you know, they'll make it easy for you to get into the Army. They'll advertise the Army to death as far as getting into the Army, come join the Army. But as far as learning a skill set and a trade that they once taught freely, it's, you know, this politics. There's a lot of politics involved in it. But what one of my future plans is, I'm working on a referral. I'm trying to have some type of program where I can mentor the youth and teach them everything I know. Because the more you teach somebody else, the more that they can use that and pass that on. The more you pass something on, the more knowledge that is circulated among the community and among others. So I would love for to have my own training program where I can bring brothers and sisters in, not just guys, not just young youth that are men, but girls too. It's so few women in the electrical trade.
Hey, Brother Bang, when you teach a man, you teach an individual. When you teach a woman, you teach a nation. So that's very smart and wise. Look, we are going to help you make that happen.
Okay.
That's what this whole organization is about. And that is connecting the dots. And there are individuals out here in the city of Chicago that have that same interest and that will find a way to support you. And so that's what we're doing, as we are highlighting individuals like you, businesses that's like you, other successful people, driving people, determined people. We're bringing them together, and we're right then having a model. We have a model that we could draw from each other.
Right.
So at the end of the day, we are very, very interested in doing exactly what you want to do. Someone is a question, how soon do you want to start this training?
Immediately.
They're ready to go right away. You just said the wrong thing. They want to know, let's do it right now. Let me tell you, I'm going to tell you why.
Uh-huh.
The reason why is when you look at, it's a lot of other different dynamics going on in America, in the world right now. But when you look at the, Brother Bang, at the social construct, they are not trying to hear from someone like you who crystal clear. I mean, the whole world, if they were listening, I think all of the people that they give money to that we call celebrities, right? You put somebody on TV, you play them over and over, they're going to become a celebrity, whether they act or bounce a basketball or throw a football or hit a baseball or sing or rap, you instantly famous. They don't make you zero to me. Now, I'm not mad at you, but we need folks like you that should be highlighted to the youth. That's why when I do career talks and speeches or whatever, you got to be there. You got to be
with it. I'm with it. One of the issues, one of the problems or issues that I am facing is right now, everybody wants stuff so fast. They want it immediately. And that's the thing about the social media and everything. It's instant. Everything is easy. You can go to Google and you find out right away. Used to be back in the day, my mom had to buy her encyclopedias from the guy that was selling encyclopedias. So things now, everybody wants stuff fast. They want to be rich. They want to have all this money, but they're not willing to sacrifice. It doesn't work like that. So they have to learn that you don't get things overnight. As far as when you work hard, you can have things, but it's not usually overnight. That's a fairy tale. So and that's the thing that is part of one of the hardest things to get across to younger people, because they see so much glamour and so much fame and so much wealth on TV, and all these people they advertise and they flaunting that they got all of this stuff, and they, but they don't see what the average man and woman is doing to make ends meet for them, So I think that that's one of the issues. Just saying, hey, you can have things, but you have to be willing to work for it, and sometimes you have to sacrifice for them, and I am currently still looking for a couple of great electricians to do some work, whether they're young or old. The issue becomes when you have a company and you don't have enough employees, then that means that you have to work harder at every position in your company. So that is an issue that you got to deal with, being the head of a company or the CEO or the president of any company. So it's not that if I had an opportunity to train, right? If I could run my company and still train other people to come up under the company, whether they grew and learned and went somewhere else, or whether they stayed or not, I think that would be a perfect opportunity for somebody else to get into it and learn it same way I learned it. I teach them the same way, no shortcuts, and you will respect it. And I think that if you put enough people into this program that we put together, or if we can have one, I think that it will benefit many people other than just the people who are in this program, So
I love it. Now, are there any schools that you have any kind of association with or partnerships with?
No. Right now they still have a coin, which is under IBEW 134, where they still teach kids or people, usually younger, to get into the program, apprenticeship program, where they can stay in this program and learn over the course of 3 to 4 years till they can become a journeyman. Now, the issue with that is when you are looking for employment through the union, sometimes you can run into issues, which is such as what happened to me many, many years ago. So
what's the issue? What issue? Tell me, can you tell us what the issues are?
Well, one of the issues,
I mean, I want to look, it ain't about getting you in trouble because you good, but I think we do need to know, because there was a question. What is the steps? What are the steps to doing what you're doing and being successful at it? I mean, you mentioned them already in terms of your drive, your determination, and your I think strength, and your of not giving up. I mean, you didn't give up, because it sounded like it could have been very easy for you to say, "Oh, forget this. I'm just going to go get a job at the." Not that there's something wrong with working at the post office,
right? Nothing wrong with that.
But it's a lot of talented people who give up on their dreams. They give up on their talent, and they put it down, and they go in to get a job that they feel like is a secure 8, 9 to 5 job, right or wrong.
That's true. That's true. The main thing is you have to be focused. You have to have determination at whatever you do. I mean, a lot of people, they get into something and then they just decide they don't want to do it. That's fine sometimes too. But if you really, really have it in your heart to do something, you have that drive, and you really feel that you can do this, then you can do it. It's going to be work though. I mean, this is not no cakewalk. You have to work. You have to learn this stuff, because it's also a dangerous job, you know. So this is one of the few jobs that a lot of people say, hey, I will do some plumbing, I will do some carpentry, I might do some painting, but I won't mess with electrical. So a lot of people have a fear of electricity because they have either been shocked or they know what it can do. They know about electrical fires, which is one of the largest.
Well, Brother Bang, I'm gonna ask you a question, but I gotta say this before there's a couple of questions. So I will put the questions out there, but I want to make this comment. One is, what age can you start in this program? Is it high school or afterwards? I'm sure the sooner the better. I mean, I think you can start learning stuff as soon as you 5, 6, 7 years old.
If it was up to me, you can start. You can start when you're 3 years old. If it was my program,
thank you.
My daughter should be able to start
right. Thank you. And what are some of the politics? And before you answer this question, what are some of the politics when it comes to the union and Black people getting into that and getting past that? Are we gonna bust that up to the degree where they don't control who gets what? But the other thing is, when I was growing up, I look back, I know when I was in Mississippi, Brother Bang, I wanted to be a garbage man, because I used to see the garbage man in Mississippi, and he was getting all this good treatment from the residents, my mom and all of the people in the neighborhood, right? Everybody was cool with him. And I was like, man, I want to be a garbage man when I grew up. But when I was living in the Robert Taylor homes, where I grew up at, on 48th and State, my mom, I was the go-to man when it came to something not working. So I was the guy that, even if I didn't have electrical black tape or whatever they call it, I'll put some Scotch tape around something and make it work.
Hey, and that's the whole thing. You making it work.
Hey, bro, I think that when the cord didn't work for the iron, and if you move it right here, the light go out and stop getting hot. And I knew that I need to cut those wires and rewire it and put them together, keep them from touching each other. And guess what? Everything worked out, right? And so I enjoyed, even with the television, some didn't work, etc. But I was doing so many other things. But tell the audience, many people viewing this. As far as the politics are concerned, is there anything that you can enlighten us on in terms of how that entity affects this whole industry?
I'm gonna tell you a little story, a true story about something simple. One time years ago, I was downtown working with my boss, and we were working on I think it was the police station or something. So since he was a licensed contractor, you can work anywhere you want. So the union pretty much doesn't have power over you if you're a licensed contractor. What they do though is, because their thing is, hey, they would have the whole world be under the union if it was up to them.
Right,
So
right.
they were like, well, hold on. If you weren't union and you say your boss was licensed, but you weren't licensed and you were under him, then they were like, well, you know what? The boss can stay here, but you can't stay here. And they would put pressure on you and put pressure on the place that you were working.
That's crazy.
And that's what they did back there. And it was a lot of politics back in the electrical business. There was a lot of favoritism. Basically, they had like books that you had to log in. The ones who were really good or were good with the people who were controlling stuff, they got first pick out of all of the jobs that might have been going on in the city. A lot of jobs were like when they were rehabbing McCormick and certain jobs downtown. So it was pretty much by who you were and who you knew. And
look, if you didn't know, look, let's keep it real. If you didn't know Burke, if you didn't know Vadoliak, if you didn't know the Dailies, if you didn't know Michael Madigan, if you did not have a connection with them, they took care of their people. I'm not mad at you, Mike Madigan. I'm not mad at you, Mayor Daley. I'm not mad at you, Edwin Burke. I'm not mad at any of you all. I'm mad at us. I love Brother Harold Washington, because Harold Washington, and I still don't believe it was coffee or heart attack, because that man, like Marion Barry, whether you believe all of the hype and you see them set him up, but Marion Barry started giving contracts to black companies, black people. And all of a sudden, here they come with the setup, exploiting its weakness, and took advantage of the brother. But when you look at his political record, the man was absolutely a jewel when it came to that. So I really get it when it comes to the politics. So we're going to work around that. And I believe that at some point, our black aldermen, and even we would ask this question, Brother Bain, about the Black Chamber of Commerce. Do you know, or have you had any kind of dealings with the Black Chamber of Commerce?
No, that's totally something I haven't gotten into.
Don't worry. We're working on that. We're going to take a slew of people that don't have a relationship, and we got different little branches, and it's so divisive, it's so divided, it's so disunified, and it's so ineffective when it comes to our black community, and as far as empowerment is concerned, forget about it. So in this area, I know a lot of money can be made, right? Big money.
Oh yeah, it's
how you enjoying all that money you making? Because I heard you say you
can.
I heard you say, man,
you can control your destiny.
Flyers. It was like, now I got.
It's lucrative. Let's just say there's the opportunity, like I said, at every level that you get in, and the things that you work harder at, you can succeed. You can become a boss. You can have your own company. You can have wealth, but like I said, it's half of this is not just about that. It's about loving what I do, loving them around different people every day. I meet different people from all walks of life, and I get to share with them, and we become family after we meet. So like Denise, we became family. You know, it started off as a service, but you get a bond. It's about building relationships.
Now I gotta ask Denise, she done had some of the most amazing, you brother. And when I tell you some of the most amazing guests that's doing some magnificent things here in the city of Chicago, and I just give her so much credit for bringing individuals like you on and exposing. I don't know you, but I'm so glad that I'm blessed and I'm so honored, man, to know you. And based on how you just came out of the gates, you are such a blessed brother and such a authentic brother, but a humble servant. Excuse me. And your services, that's why you probably have to turn some down now.
It's
God
rough
has blessed
sometimes.
you with that much.
Like I said, because you building relationships. I'm humble. I love what I do. I love to teach the youth what I do. Show them that there's more alternatives than what they know. It's if you expose somebody to something and if you give them that knowledge about something, then they can carry that on and they can take from that and enhance their own life with it. So I love it. I meet a lot of general contractors in the field, a lot of realtors. I meet everybody. So I do a lot of work for a whole lot of different general contractors. You had Mike V over here, your buddy, on the other day. That's one of my buddies. We do work together. I do work with Donna, a nice realtor. I mean, it's just the list goes on and on as far as there are a lot of Black contractors out here doing some really good things. And I like to be networked with them. And I love this program that you all have because it's an opportunity to a way to meet and find out things that you wouldn't ordinarily know. So this is great that you all invited me to share some of my.
Absolutely, man. Let me tell you something, Brother Bang. We are very glad to do this kind of work. You know, what helps me sleep at night, not just Wednesday nights, but other nights, is that I'm involved with something that's going to make a difference in the lives of our people. So, I mean, we are so thankful to have brothers like you. So we got a few more minutes, and you've given us so much information, man. And this is a great segment, because this is one that we definitely gonna have on the website and play some of this on the website, on YouTube, because people need to know. And when you think about the state of Black America, you think about the state of mind, the behavior. I'm not going to be mentioning crime yet, but when you look at the fact that all these talented young Black men and women are not working, there's some opportunities for them, but there has been no one to build relationships with our people, our children. They come, but oftentimes too many of them come for the wrong reasons. It's like exploitation. But there are some genuine people who really love seeing the youth work, love seeing the youth develop skill sets. There was a brother that did the auditorium seating for CPS. He was a friend of mine. I say that I love him. And that was Brother Harold Davis. And this brother, like yourself, he went out his way, man, to make sure folks like you were known to the community, because it wasn't about you, because we know it is about you, but you make it about the people. And that's what I love and honor about you, brother. You're gonna remain blessed. And your legacy, look, let me tell you something. We ain't unrealistic about life. Denise, the work, good work, and Simon and Doris, myself and you and others have been on this platform. We ain't gonna be here forever.
That's
We
true.
pray and we ask God to give us longevity, keep us here, but we don't know. And so while we here, don't be a coward. Don't be fearful. Don't be scared of your own shadow. Do what Brother Bain and others like you are doing and give back. Enjoy your success. Take care of yourself and your family. Enjoy, all of the benefits of your labor. But as you love, and I can hear it in your voice, teaching the youth, passing this knowledge on, and empowering others. Am I right or wrong?
That is the truth. That is all the truth. If we can teach our young and our youth something that we know, give them back something, give them an opportunity, give them a head start, I think that we will be further along. That's one of the issues is we don't, a lot of us don't give back, and a lot of us are not concerned about the well-being of our future, and they're not concerned. They just about self, and self is not going to do it. Once we get out here and start teaching our youth, because our youth can do anything that their minds are capable of, and a lot of times all they need is opportunity. You give them an opportunity, they can change the whole world. We already know what so many people have done of color over the course of history. So all we really need is we get the right opportunity, a good platform. If we get a certain amount of people who really love giving back, we really love teaching, who really are dedicated to helping the youth do better and teaching them something. I think if we could do that, the more of us that we can get together and do things like that, plan things, network, because so many of us have talents, and a lot of people don't know it because we're not in a situation where they can find out about it. So once we start networking more and putting programs together where people can come in and have an opportunity to see what this person can do and what this person does. You had a couple of lawyers on there once, you've had construction work. So if you get people, you get us from all walks, from all different career backgrounds, and you put us together in a platform where you can have it's like a career day for brothers. We got a career day where you can learn about anything that you even had a thought about, or you might not even thought about it until you get to this platform that we have. And then you say, hey, what is this about? And then he's like, I'm glad you asked. Let me tell you what this is about. And then they like, it piques their curiosity. Like you can, a child's imagination and mind, it just needs to be enlightened. So part of what I like to do is enlighten the mind of the youth.
And guess what? You just gave me a great idea. And that is, and I'm going to talk with Denise at some point, that we need to organize later on down the road, a few months, at the schools. We bring all the students who are interested in electrical engineering or electricity, being plumbers or being whatever, and construction, etc. If they say they want to do whatever field of endeavor, we will bring individuals there so that they will have an opportunity to talk with them.
I think that's a great idea.
So we got about 5 minutes, and I want to ask you one thing, and I'm gonna bring Denise in to end the show. We can bring Denise in right now because we got 5 minutes. Now, this is what I want to ask you, Brother Bain. What is one of your biggest projects that you've worked on? What is one of the largest projects you've worked on where you were like, when you went to the bank, you was like, woo, Lord.
Well, I can't put one, it's different ones. So the thing about the electrical field is you can be doing commercial electric, you can do residential.
So let's say, so have you had a real big commercial Like,
I've had some chunky jobs. You know, I just leave it at that. I've done chunky jobs, and I've seen other electricians who have had jobs, black electricians, like for instance, my former boss. He used to have those big chunky jobs that you didn't think that a black person could have. You know, but then you see us, and we over here at a Solo Cup Company, and we down in John Hancock building, or we
all right now.
big projects in the museum, the Field Museum, not the Science Center, the Field Museum.
Hey, look, speaking of that, I know some of my people are on that whole thing with Barack Obama, and I'm telling you, I ain't gonna get into that cat, but he better damn sure have some black contractors building that, because but anyway, that's a whole nother conversation. I ain't gonna get
it. It definitely is.
But when you just start mentioning these other entities and these places, but man, I'm so proud of you. I'll let me close it out, and I'll just tell you, man, I was so honored. I'm so privileged and so blessed, man, to meet someone like you.
The pleasure is all mine.
Brother, let me tell you something. I hope your family and they're listening and watching you tonight, because I'm learning a lot. I know they're learning a lot, and I know folks all over are learning a lot about why RRGBC do what we do, because it makes no sense that we have all of these talented people. When they talk about Denise, the talented 10, hell, how do you gonna know they're talented if you don't know them?
That's right.
Talented 10 dormant. So anyway, brother, thank you for blessing us with your grace and your knowledge and your humility. And I appreciate you. We have a lot of guests come on this show. We've had some really good ones, but it seems to get better every week. All I got to say is we building an army. And we fix what's wrong in the black community.
Put me in that number. When you're building them, put me in that number.
Oh, you already in it. If you don't, Denise, I'm sorry to tell you, if you came on this show.
Put me in there. I'm in. I'm all in. All in.
I need to let you know your name is already on the list.
All right.
She don't play when it comes to that. But anyway, peace and love.
Love.
Okay, that was so exhilarating listening to Brother Bang, and I mean him and the young man that owns the aquarium, the Aquatic Oasis. You know, to hear the love for what they do, and to hear them say it's not about the money, it's about the relationship that you establish with people in a business. And I think there was 2 points that were brought out in this interview, and that is, we're always looking for the shortcut, and we have this saying, all you got to do is. No, there is a plan. You have there is a process that you have to go through to achieve something. And so that's what you have a plan, and you work that plan, and you work on developing relationships with people, and the money will come. He doesn't have to advertise anymore, and I can attest to his work. And yes, we are like family when he comes to my home and does work for me, and I would refer him to anyone. And this is what we have to do. And we have to seek out Black businesses. And here at RRGBC, we're about bringing our businesses together. We're about bringing our community together. I got tired of complaining and we started to do something. And there are other people who are out here working as well. So we need all hands on deck. That's the only way we're going to get out of this. We're trying to leave Chicago, and we move to the suburbs, and we move to other cities. And we move to other countries, and we marry other people, and we think we're going to run away. You can't run away from yourself. The only way that we're going to address the inequities against Black people across this entire planet is we're going to have to come together. and support one another. And so we're asking you to go to our website at rrgbc.org. You can watch all of our podcasts. They are archived on our website. We also have a store where you can purchase items that will support our organization. We have a donation page where you can donate to support our organization and help us out, because we're working very hard to help save and uplift our communities. So thank you, family and friends, for coming again. Again, I want to mention right quickly, Mamela Teka, you were selected as the winner of the Asada Shakur book last week, and we hope we will hear from you. Otherwise, we will have to select another winner for that book. So please come again next week at 8 o'clock for another riveting discussion with a Black-owned business, or with one of the many wonderful Black-owned businesses that we have here in the Chicago area. Thank you so much, and have a good night.